They are the who's who of the Overthrow America movement in the 1960s. I mean, here's his new spiritual advisor. Here's Jeff Jones. There's Bill Ayers, Weather Underground. I don't remember which Rathke. It's Dale and Wade Rathke, and Andy Stern from SEIU, and Cloward and Piven. He's got more. I mean, Robert Creamer went to prison because he felt it was okay to steal for social justice, and then he crafted this health care bill, you know, on how to sell it, how to move things while behind bars. There's Mark Lloyd, there's Cass Sunstein, there's Ron Bloom. The most frequent visitor to the White House was SEIU's Andy Stern. This guy was a member of the radical group SDS. Do you remember this? Tree of Revolution? SDS. SDS, Students for a Democratic Society. This is where the other Weather Underground came out of. And Cloward and Piven came in and said, no, no, no. Collapse the system financially. And that's where we got this. Got it? SDS, really bad stuff. But so was Jim Wallace, the spiritual advisor here of President Obama. They were in the 1960s revolution. Now, maybe you forgot what happened to the 1960s radicals and their Marxist efforts. They lost. They lost big time, completely crushed, humiliated. They became a punchline. Yeah, right, dude, rock on. But how were they crushed? Who crushed them? This is the average family in the 1960s. And we were, I mean, you know, we were still coming out of the Leave It to Beaver years, where we still were relatively decent people, I think. And up here, I mean, we had these two clowns. And these people, this is our general society. Hippies like Bill Ayers ran around tossing bombs at everything. And at some point they realized the tactic isn't going to change anything. They realized they didn't have any power. See, Cloward and Piven said, collapse the system, get inside, infect the system, destroy it from the inside out. Get a hold of as much power as you can get, and get as many people on welfare as possible, and collapse the system. But the key ingredient was to have a structure in place, so that when it all comes tumbling down, there's something for it to collapse into. So what's the structure? What did they learn? They learned some really important lessons. They learned that the man was keeping them down. Remember that? It's the man. You remember all of these stupid people protesting the man in Washington? All the marches, all the things that they did? Well, there was kind of a line here. Because Americans don't like radicals. Americans don't like terrorists. Americans don't like dope-smoking hippies. They don't like people who are dangerous. We don't like that. That's not the way we do things. We do things through elections. We do things through elections. So what they learned was, don't fight the man. Become the man. These are all radicals that in one way or another have influence, either directly or indirectly, with the President of the United States. They have become the man. Now, they have power at the top. Now, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Well, they're radical changes. If their radical changes are going to happen, they had to achieve this goal, and they've done that. The other thing they realize is Americans are religious and moral people. Can you turn this around for me, please? They're religious and moral people. This is what I showed you last night. Remember? Healthcare. Oh, why do you hate people that don't hate people? Economic justice, which is socialism, which is redistribution of wealth. We're religious and moral people. The Marxists knew they had to work up this way. They knew we wouldn't go along with nuts who were throwing bombs. No one wanted to be a part of that. So they had to change from redistribution of wealth and Marxism and socialism to economic justice. And then just talk about health care, because it's the right thing to do. God would want you to do it. See? Van Jones, where is he, the radical? Here, Van Jones, he summed it up this way. Watch this. He said, "I'm willing to forego the cheap satisfaction of the radical pose for the deep satisfaction of the radical ends. The goals haven't changed, but the tactic has." The new tactic? See if any of this sounds familiar. Remembering that America is a religious and moral people. They have power here. All they need is just some radicals down here.